Hello and welcome to the Sack Race Reacts. We're here to talk about Dean Holden, who got sacked by Bristol City after 6 consecutive defeats. Make sure you guys are subscribing, liking and commenting all your thoughts. Unfortunately, Jack is on holiday, so I'm in his place. But I'm delighted to be joined by Stanley Hughes, the host of One Stream in Bristol Podcast. Stanley, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm going very well. Thanks for having me on, Charlie. Hopefully you'll be a better assistant to Jack than Dean Holden was to Lee Johnson.
Great. You've mentioned Lee Johnson. I wanted to sort of cast your mind back to July. I think it was the second lockdown. Lee Johnson got sacked. To some, it was quite a shock. What did you think of that decision and then the decision to appoint Dean?
I think it was a very sad moment, really, because I was one of the Bristol City fans who really wanted Lee Johnson to succeed. We were the only club in the Football League to have improved on our league position 5 seasons in a row. So a lot of people felt that we were building as a club, we were improving, even though we weren't reaching the playoffs. But the way we capitulated, albeit in the midst of a sort of a COVID lockdown and pandemic, I think it was inevitable, and a lot of City fans were they were expecting it. And when Lee Johnson finally got sacked after that defeat to Cardiff last season, I think most City fans probably felt, you know what, it's probably the time. Let's go in a new direction. Let's see what the club do. The fact that they appointed Dean Holden, unsurprisingly, upset the vast majority of City fans, really. Mark Ashton, our CEO, talked up the various applicants, saying they'd come from all different types of backgrounds, all around the world, all sorts of experiences, of styles, of age. And the fact that he did that and bigged up the sort of, long list and short list. And yet here we are ending up with the assistant of the man who's just capitulated the season. There was a lot of surprise and a lot of anger. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of City fans over the next few days and weeks coming out with, I told you so.
Yeah, real shame about Lee Johnson. We spoke to him in lockdown, really nice guy. And the sack race, always a big fan of his training methods. He's always quite innovative. And he's doing quite well with Sunderland, I think. So yeah, Dean Holden, how has this season been then? I mean, wasn't it a decent start?
It was a decent start, and to be honest, I think he won a lot of fans over, if I'm honest. I think him and Johnson are chalk and cheese, not in too many ways, but certainly in the way they conduct themselves in the media. I think Johnson uses a lot of sort of fancy turns of phrases, Johnsonisms, as we like to call them. Whereas Holden was very matter of fact. He was very simple. He was very clear, very concise in his post-match interviews, pre-match press conferences. And I think City fans sort of warmed to that. And it was a nice little tonic to some of the spiel maybe we got from time to time with Lee Johnson. Like you said, we started the season well. We were playing we had a regular formation, a consistent style, which is something we didn't have under Lee Johnson. And we were playing young players. People like Semenyo and Viner and Backinson were getting a chance in the first team and doing well. But soon, slowly, the injuries started to mount up. I mean, they got so bad that a couple of weeks ago, we had 0 left-footed players in the squad. They were all injured. We had both our left-backs injured. The 2 left-backs that were out on loan came back and were injured. Even the under-23 player who plays at left-back was injured. So we had to play Riley Towler, an 18-year-old who'd never even played men's football before, was a centre-back, but just happened to be left-footed, bless him. So he was our left-back for a couple of games. So he's had a terrible, terrible first season in terms of, it's in the middle of a pandemic. We've got no money as a club and all these injuries. I feel a bit sorry for him, but I think the writing was on the wall with the performances we've been putting in recently.
So do you think it's a bit... Where do you stand? Do you think it's a harsh sacking considering the hand he's been dealt with, or are you quite excited now at the future and the prospect of bringing someone else in?
Yeah, I could see it coming. Personally, I would have given him one more game. I would have given him Saturday against Barnsley and given him one more chance to mix things up again and see if the players respond to him. But after losing 2-0 at home atrociously to Cardiff in arguably the biggest game of the season for a lot of City fans, it's the big derby. Going out to Sheffield United on BBC with barely a shot on target, being beaten 6-0 by Watford and then losing again against Reading with only 1 shot on target, I think, if I remember correctly. The problem was they built this game up. He built up this Reading game beforehand, Dean Holden. He said, we need to see a response from the players. I've looked at the players need to look themselves in the mirror. We need a response, etc., etc. And when the players then play like that, and that's meant to be the way of responding to a 6-0 defeat, and that's their way of backing the manager and playing for him, maybe it was inevitable, and maybe I'm too patient.
Yeah, it's a ruthless business. We wish Dean best of luck in the future, but as one door closes, another opens. and we have got the latest odds for the next Bristol City manager. I feel like we were having this conversation back in summer. But, I wanted to look through the market and go through the top 5 front runners, basically get your opinion on each, and then look at some other names to see who you think would be best suited to get the job. Early this morning when the market opened, Eddie Howe was installed as the favourite, like he is for every job at the moment. But since then, mid-afternoon, Paul Cook has come in to become the pretty convincing favourite. Evens, he's just gone out to 5-4. What are your thoughts on Paul Cook and getting the job?
Yeah, I like him. I think for many City fans, he would be their number one choice. Him and Houghton were the front runners for the most part in the summer. We didn't get Chris Houghton we're not quite sure why, but he's ended up at Forest, and Paul Cook is still out of a job. I'd like him. I mean, he's got an incredible CV. You know, he won trophy, albeit in Ireland. He won a lot of trophies there in his short time in English Football League manager. In his short time in the Football League, he's got a few promotions. You know. He did very well at Wigan in what was an absolute basket case of a club, mind you. Absolute carnage. I mean, people talk about Bristol City as being a bit of turmoil. If he can handle Wigan, I think he could probably manage Bristol City with his eyes closed. So I like Paul Cook. He seems quite good in his press conferences, quite straightforward. The football might be a little bit defensive, and Bristol City fans probably won't mind because we've been playing. There's been no sign of attacking football in the last sort of 18 months. So if a manager comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm going to play defensive football," City fans will go, "You know what? If we're winning, we probably won't mind."
Okay, sounds like a big fan of Paul Cook. That's what I've seen on Twitter, to be honest. Like I said about Eddie Howe, do you think you guys could lure him in?
No chance. Absolutely no chance. I mean, Bristol's. I'm sure there are some Bristol City fans that think, you know, oh yeah, we could get Eddie Howe. And I'm sure when Pochettino was a free agent, they probably said, oh, why don't we try and get Pochettino in or whoever. But I don't know what it is about certain Bristol City fans. They forget that we're not the biggest club in the world, no matter how many times we sing that chant on the terraces. So I can't see Eddie Howe coming here. Oddly, I think I'd still rather have Paul Cook than Eddie Howe. Maybe it's because he's only had one club apart from that sort of brief stint at Burnley, and Bournemouth did only get to the Prem by breaking FFP and spending crazy money. So at the moment, I'd pick Paul Cook, and I can't see Eddie Howe coming here.
No, they are secret masters of the dark arts, which a lot of the people outside the Championship don't know about. But it's a big job for Eddie Howe's next one. I agree with you. One of the big market movers, whose odds have been slashed, Michael Appleton. He's in charge of Lincoln City. They're going well in League One. Would you have him?
No. That would be the appointment that would probably infuriate Bristol City fans the most, because at the moment someone who's getting a lot of flack in the club is Mark Ashton, our CEO. And people are a bit wary of him. A lot of fans don't like him. I think maybe it's his mannerisms, the way he behaves, the way he conducts interviews. It doesn't seem like the kind of guy that most fans would probably choose to go for a pint with. And often that person, Mark Ashton, is accused of bringing in people who are his friends first rather than the best in the business or the best possible candidate for the role. And I think Michael Appleton, as someone he's worked with in the past with Oxford, maybe that would be another case of Mark Ashton bringing in someone he knows rather than someone who's perfect for the job. So I personally wouldn't want Michael Appleton. I think there's better candidates out there. Candidates with championship experience, and if not championship experience, a better CV in League 1 and 2. But that would be, if that keeps getting rumoured, I think, if you're bored, just check out Bristol City Twitter and search Michael Appleton, because I'm sure there'll be a few angry fans kicking off.
Yeah, he's come right into 4-1, so watch the space on that one. You mentioned a good CV in League 2 and League 1, and Danny Cowley, again, his name, Danny and Nicky Cowley, their name get links to most jobs. Same question, what do you think of if Bristol appointed him?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't be against that. I know he was on EFL on Quest and Football Focus for a long time, and fine, that's not a place where you sort of get to know if he's going to be any good as a head coach or a manager. But he seemed a sound guy. He obviously knows his football. They're going to come as a double act. Again, I'm not sure. That's not one that particularly excites me. I mean, maybe I've just had so much dull football that anything City related is struggling to excite me at the moment. We could probably win 5-0 on Saturday, and I'd still go, oh yeah. So I'm not too sure. They did a decent job at Lincoln, didn't they? Well, they did an amazing job at Lincoln. Huddersfield, they struggled a bit, so I'm not sure. I'd like someone whose last job was a superb one, if possible, rather than someone who got sacked or someone who sort of fizzled out, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're saying. I think Danny did a really good job at Huddersfield. He came in, they were rooted at the bottom, and he did manage to keep them up. So I I don't really know how that ended. So, okay, brilliant stuff. I wanted to now kind of list off the best of the rest, and I wanted to get your opinion of someone who you would want and someone you absolutely wouldn't want. So the names are Michael Flynn, Ryan Lowe, Mark Hughes, John Terry, Nigel Pearson, Tony Pulis, Jason Tindall, Joey Barton, Cole Robinson, or Frank Lampard.
All right, which one do you want first?
No, out of those names,
So which do you want? One I like or one I don't like? Sorry.
Let's start with a positive.
All right, the positive one. So I'd pick Ryan Lowe personally out of that list. I have sleepless nights thinking of Bristol City being constantly referred to as Frank Lampard's Bristol City. So I'd rather have an upper comer rather than an ex-pro of that stature personally. Same thing with Steven Gerrard. I couldn't deal with it. Sort of, you get half and half scarves. I don't want that. Ryan Lowe is someone who I think has done an excellent job at Plymouth and done an equally impressive one at Bury. And also he went viral last season, I think, basically swearing shed loads and offering out to the entire Bristol Rovers backroom staff. And so if that's not a way to win over Bristol City fans, I don't know what is. So I think if I had to pick one that I would like out of that list, it would be Ryan Lowe.
I like that. Yeah, Ryan Lowe he came into the betting. He came right into 8-1 and has since nowhere to be seen. So I don't know if he's ruled out. But yeah, he's a promotion machine and definitely someone who I think has got a big future. And is there, like you mentioned, but is there another name in that list you'd absolutely not want?
Yeah, Tony Pulis. I mean, it's just that would be the nightmare. I mean, if Bristol City fans were having a bad dream, Tony Pulis would be the manager. Ex-gas, woeful tenure when he was here as a manager. You ask, whenever the football is bad, someone will always say it, but at least it's not Tony Pulis. Oh, God, we've lost 5 in a row. Yeah, we have. But you know what? At least it's not Tony Pulis. My house is on fire. My wife has left me. My dog's been run over. You know what? That's all true, but at least it's not Tony Pulis. So he's the one I don't want.
Brilliant. Love that. So just to sum up, the man you want, is it Paul Cook?
Yeah, I think Paul Cook, Ryan Lowe I wouldn't mind, although obviously he's got a slightly less experience than Paul Cook. But I think the way Wigan fans talk about him, the fact Pompey fans are constantly tweeting at him for leaving them and stuff like that. The job he did at Chesterfield, the only thing is, can he work in the sort of recruitment style that we have at Bristol City? Yeah, are Bristol City going to be willing to give him a bit more say in signing players? Is he going to be willing to have a bit of a lesser say to join Bristol City? I hope, because that might be the rumour. That was the rumour. That's why he didn't join in the summer when we did appoint Dean Holden, because actually they couldn't quite find the balance between the two different recruitment structures. I hope that they can meet in the middle or move towards Paul Cook's end, because he's got a much better recruitment history than our current recruitment team does.
Interesting. Bang on. And you mentioned, don't want to say it too loudly, Bristol Rovers. We had a tweet in which we haven't been able to answer yet. We haven't gone through the archives. But can you remember a time when Bristol Rovers and City haven't had a manager?
Oh, I'm not sure you can refer to any of their head coaches and managers, really. I mean, Ian Holloway's a chicken farmer, not a manager. So no, I have no idea. I'm not too fond of them, and I can't say I have an encyclopedic knowledge of them either.
No worries. Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Stanley. Really enjoyed that. I have just seen some breaking news now as well that Thierry Henry is the new favourite for Bournemouth.
Wow.
That's a bit out of left field. So we should be getting some content on the sack race for that. If you guys want any of the odds, make sure you go on thesackrace.com. And we will see you next time. See you later.